What is up, you guys? I think you know what time it is. Once again, we've got some packages to open up. This one is something that I have been anticipating for quite a while. Check it out. This is a full fuel system from Sai Li. Oh yes, baby. This is the dual fuel pump system. So this is already set up and ready to just plug and play, which is the cool thing about these. Oh, let's open this thing up and see what's all in here. Fittings, fittings, fittings. Fittings, fittings. And I believe this is a fuel pressure gauge. Basically, you just plug a line up to right here and it'll actually read your fuel pressure just to display it to make sure that there's no drop in fuel, which would have helped a lot if you guys saw the dyno video that I did. We actually had to hook up our own fuel pressure gauge, which was a big pain, but let's check out and see what else we've got in here. This is a huge wiring harness. Looks like I've got 2 relays right here for the fuel pumps, 2 fuses. This is the plug, I believe, for the fuel pumps. Check out and see what else is in here. This is a fuel pressure regulator. This is actually adjustable. It's by Aeromotive, and basically you can just tighten up on this top screw here, and it allows you to control how much flow is going to the fuel rails, and the rest basically just gets returned to the tank. This is my fuel line. This feels very, very strong. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues out of this fuel line. This is black braided fuel line that Sai Li offers, and it is definitely, seriously, really strong. This is kind of an expensive upgrade. Most people don't opt into it, but I did personally. I don't want to have any issues with my fuel system after I put it in. I don't want any leaks. I don't want anything like that. So I opted into getting the black braided fuel line, and I definitely think that it is going to be worth it. This stuff is seriously strong compared to just rubber hose. With that being said, this is finally my complete fuel system. I should be able to have this into the car before the big call out. I went and dynoed the car previously. As you guys saw, I was having bad fuel cuts because I'm on the stock fuel system still. Tried putting a booster pump in the car. A lot of people have that as a solution, and it actually works for a lot of people. Unfortunately, I just believe that I'm putting a little bit too much power on that. So I'm gonna sell that VMP booster pump, and I'm gonna install this entire fuel system into the car. That way we'll be fine to run E85, we'll be fine to run race gas, we'll be fine to run whatever else in the future that I plan on. Huge thanks to Sai Li and Lethal Performance for getting this kit over to me in just 2 days. Cannot wait to get it put in and try it out. Hopefully we'll eliminate a lot of the issues with fueling and seriously be able to put down a lot more power with the 85, maybe a smaller pulley, stuff like that. I'm excited. Next box that we have is from, I believe, Bmr Suspension. Let's open this up and check out what's in here. As you guys can see, this is a Cradle bushing lockout kit for my car. This basically really cuts down on a lot of wheel hop that these cars have, which is a huge issue. I haven't looked into the instructions, so I'm just kind of taking a guess at what all this is. And I believe that these plates here keep everything in line, and they go under the bushing. Oh, check that out. I actually got these ordered in hammer tone, and they look really good. I'm very impressed with that. That is really nice quality. I've got the instructions here, got all the parts ready to go. I'm gonna go install these Cradle bushing lockouts because tonight I plan on throwing my drag radials onto the car and heading to the track to test out the new setup that I have on the car. Next week I plan on installing this fuel system and then converting over to E85, but I want to get some track numbers now that I have the current setup with all the bolt-ons that I did. I ran the car whenever it was still completely stock at 11.5. Now I've done a lot of mods that you guys have seen in the past videos. I've got the suspension mods that I'm going to be doing today, and I want to get a last run of that and see what I run with this setup. And then once I convert over to E85 with the new fuel system and all the suspension mods, I want to go to the track one more time and just test everything out and see how much better I'm improving on the car. So without further ado, let's go get this Cradle bushing lockout installed on the car. Always make sure you chock the wheels before you jack up the rear end. First thing that I'm gonna do to get started is go ahead and remove these rear wheels. I've got to swap on some drag radials anyways later tonight since we're going to the track. All right, so let me lay this rear wheel out of the way and we can begin getting started with this install. So I've already lifted up the rear And I've already put jack stands under the car. So the next thing that I need to do is just place a jack here underneath the rear of the car. Again, this is a Cradle bushing lockout kit, which means that to install this, I need to remove a lot of the bolts that are used to hold the Cradle up. And placing that jack under there is basically just so the Cradle does not drop down once I remove these. Now that I've removed both wheels and put a support underneath the rear Cradle, I need to go ahead and loosen up these 4 main bolts that hold the Cradle up in place. Got the 2 on the first side loosened. Now I need to loosen up these 2 on this side. Snap-on, if you would like to sponsor me and send me a compressor and some air impacts, I would not be too mad about it. Okay, so I have all 4 bolts loosened up now. Now that I've gotten all 4 loose, I can go ahead and completely remove 2 from one side. So now I need to go up here to the front and remove both of these front Cradle supports. So now that I got the front Cradle support loosened up, I can go ahead and drop down the Cradle so that there will be a gap up there between the Cradle and the frame. Now that I got the Cradle lowered down, I'm going to take this upper bushing for the front, which is the taller one, and place it right there on top of the Cradle, and take the rear one, which is the shorter one, place it right there on top. And once that's in place, I'm going to go ahead and lift the Cradle back up into place. So now that I got that raised up, I can go ahead and completely remove this Cradle support right here. So next, take the new Bmr Cradle support, slide in your bolt through it, slide it up into there, and then you're going to have to use a pry bar to actually line it up, and then just begin tightening it up by hand. Once you get a few threads, you can let your pry bar go, grab a ratchet, and then begin snugging it down. Do not tighten it down though, just get a few threads into there just to hold it up. So now you can take this rear lower alignment piece here, slide your bolt through it, and then once again slide the bolt here into the rear and begin tightening up this bolt on the back. Okay, so this side is good to go. Let me move on to the other side. We're going to replicate these exact same steps, and then I'm going to show you guys what to do next. So once again, start by taking out these 2 main 21mm bolts. Then grab your 13mm and move up here to this Cradle support that comes factory on the car, and remove the 2 bolts that hold that on. Then next, you're going to get started on your upper spacers. So again, you need to lower the jack down so that it will lower the Cradle down from the car, and then you can slide the spacers on the top. Alright, so remember, the tall spacer goes up here in the front, and then the rear spacer, which is the smaller one, goes in the back, obviously. And then you can go ahead and lift up the Cradle once again. Then grab one of the main bolts, slide it into the new Cradle support. Then I'm gonna grab my pry bar once again, slide it into here, and then pry once again to get this bolt lined up with the hole. Then once again, grab the other Cradle bolt, slide this alignment spacer thing on, and go onto the rear. And then once you get all 4 of these bolts put up, take your 2 front 13mm bolts here, and then reinstall them into the front for the Cradle support up here. So then go ahead, once you get the 10mm bolts in place, and tighten down on these 21mm. The 4 main bolts are torqued to 129 foot-pounds, and the 4 smaller bolts are torqued to 41 foot-pounds. So once you get all the bolts tightened and torqued back up, you are done with your install. Go ahead and lower the jack down off of the Cradle, and you are good to put your wheels back on and go. I'm not going to be putting these wheels back on tonight. As I said, I'm going to the drag strip, so I'm going to be putting on my drag wheels with my slicks on it. So make sure you guys stay tuned for next video. I've only got a short amount of time until I have to be ready to leave to go to the drag strip, so that's probably going to be all for today's video. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video of me going to the strip. It should be pretty dang exciting. I know, I'm really looking forward to it. Got this Cradle lockout kit put on here. It's really going to help out a lot with the wheel hop. We got the axles put in, as you guys saw a few videos ago, along with the one-piece aluminum drive shaft. Everything suspension wise and drive line wise is good to go. Coming up pretty soon, I'm going to be looking at getting stage 1 Ben Caliber built transmission paired with a McLeod twin disc super high horsepower rated clutch and lightened flywheel, so that's going to be really exciting. This car in 2 months has been through a complete transformation, and we are not stopping here, so make sure you guys stay up with everything going on with the car. It's going to be a lot of fun. As you guys saw, we just got the EcoBoost. That's going to be a blast. We just got the Volvo. I'm going to start doing stuff with that eventually. I'm planning on getting another project car as well, because who can't have enough projects? So next video should be pretty interesting of our night at the track. You're not going to want to miss it. With that being said though, that's going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button below, drop a like on this video so I can hopefully have some good luck at the track tonight. Let me know what you guys think about the Caliber built transmissions for these cars, the MT82s. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it's a good buy. If you guys have any other suggestions though, feel free to hit me up and let me know. With that being said though, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next video.